Okay, we've started recording, and let me do a screen. There's the share. Let me do the screen share. Share the screen with you, and we'll get all of this stuff kind of squared away. And hopefully, we will be in. Oh, here's Brother Manuel. Welcome, Brother Manuel. We're getting started here. All the faithful few, you guys are after it. Good to see you, and I love your background. There at the beach, man. I'm ready to go fishing. I just got back. I used to meet with one of my friends, and my background would be Dante's hell. You know, it'd have the fire behind me and all that. And he used to laugh. He'd said in the movie Jeremiah Johnson, Jeremiah meets Dale, and Dale says, "Where you headed, Jeremiah?" He said, "Hell in the end, just like you." So I don't know. Maybe that's. I hope that's not where I'm headed. If I trust the Lord, I don't. I hope not. But anyway, okay. What I want to do tonight is take a few minutes and tie everything together for you in a course design to show you how you would start from scratch and build an entire course. Now, what I'm going to show you is built in Blackbaud, but you don't have to use Blackbaud. You can use another LMS, or you can just write a book. I mean, you can develop the narratives and all that. Let me take you out here just a minute, and I'm going to go online and let's see if I can find that course. Psychology 2301. Now, I'm going to take you to the bulletin board just a minute. Um, have you taken classes that were well designed, and you've taken classes that were poorly designed, and you've taken classes that weren't designed at all, and the teacher should have been arrested? You remember y'all probably don't remember the old show Branded, but they took him out and they broke his sword and they ripped off his insignias and all that. And the song has Chuck Connors and "What Do You Do When You're Branded?" And you know you're a man. Anyway, it was old 60s show. But some teachers need to have that. Take them out and break their pencil. I mean, but designing a course isn't nearly as hard as you would think it is. What I'm going to show you, I built in 2 days. And I'm not talking 16 hours. I messed around 3 hours one day, and then I had a cup of coffee and I had to go to a meeting and do that. I came back the next morning and finished it up. And most of what I did was the videos. That's what takes the longer time. But this is intro to psychology. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have to be a psychologist anymore. I can build you a course in nuclear physics. We could build a course in military strategy. AI. Listen, let me tell you. If you go back to the Iraq War and you look at the Iran War, they've just. I know the media's carrying on. Oh, Iran's doing this, that, and that. I got friends over there. They tell me that no, no. One of them told me, said, "Well, maybe they have a couple of pop guns left that they can shoot at us." But the difference is AI. If our AI is one thing, what do you think military grade AI is? Uh, that the idea of face recognition software with AI. Over there, every place you go, they got cameras on you, watching you. If you run a red light, you get an email, a text message said, "Congratulations, you just got a ticket." Okay, and you're going to have a lot of fun appealing that. But the military grade AI is what has made the American military over there so phenomenal. Now, what scares me, and guys, just listen, and we're all entitled to our opinions. What scares me, though, with our military power is there's a passage of scripture says, "And the whole world wondered after the beast and said, 'Who is able to make war with him?'" We don't want that to be us, okay? We want that to be somebody else. But AI is powerful. And a teacher who learns to use put the pieces together to build curriculum is powerful. That curriculum can be built in something like Blackboard, which I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. It can be built over in it made a Word document. You can make a book out of it. You can turn it into web pages, all sorts of things that you can do with it. But I'm not credentialed in psychology. My bachelor's, I have two bachelor's degrees, one in theology, a master's of theology, but I also have a bachelor's with a double major in special education and mathematics. Special ed and psychology are very closely paired. And I didn't say this to any psychology teachers listening out there, but weird people go in psychology. Some of those psychology teachers I had, one of them was standing up. He was the world's greatest psychologist, and he'd been married 5 times. And he was talking about all his past wives and how crazy they were. And he was bashing Christianity one day, and I just had enough. I raised my hand and I said, Dr. Grigsby, can I ask you a question? And yeah, I guess ask me a question. I said, well, you're telling us what a great psychologist you are. And my question is if you're that great a psychologist, why can't you pick a better woman than the 5 you chose? I went from an A to a C, and I'm very proud of that C. I earned every bit of it. I still laugh about it. I picked one, and I'm not that great a psychologist, as great as he claimed to be. But the idea here is that you can develop topics that you may not know every part of. Anymore, it's not about what we memorize, it's about what information we can find. And if we can find information and we can process information, then we have immense power. Now, what happened in this course is Brittany, and she wouldn't mind me telling you this, Brittany is real close to getting her AA. And she was kind of misadvised. She was hoping to graduate in May. And Alpha came in just all panicked and said, I ran her degree plan and she can't graduate in May. I said, why? So, well, she needs intro to psychology. I said, well, Miss Alpha, we'll put in an 8-week intro to psychology and I will teach it for her and I will help her get to graduation. And when I brought that up to her, her mother, who's a jewel, her mother said, who's going to teach it? I said, I will teach it, because she knows I'm kinder, I'm not mean there's an old song gets meaner and uglier every day. That may be me. I know I get uglier. I think sometimes I get meaner, but I had to build this course. So I've never taught intro to psychology before. So what I did is I put together a curriculum guide and look, I've got the course description, I've got course learning outcomes. My daughter, just a minute ago, before you guys came here, was talking to me on the phone. She's a nursing instructor. She said, Daddy, do you know about Bloom's taxonomy? I said, Amanda, Benjamin Bloom did his work in 1956, the year I was born. And what Bloom did is he said, when we teach, we need to use verbs and have people doing things. And he said, we don't need to have them saying, point out. Y'all ever seen the old commercial where the guy has, our old cartoon where the guy has a pointer dog and it's out there, there it is, there it is, there it is. We know that's low level learning. But Bloom's taxonomy is a list of high level verbs that cover several different genres. And when you take a college class and you build learning outcomes, those learning outcomes should be high level. It's a college class. If we were a kindergarten class, we might say point out the number 1. But what if you took a graduate math class and your first assignment was point out the number 1? I would be happy because I'd get my 3 hours, get out of there, but anyway, the learning outcomes have verbs, and listen to the verbs here: contrast, describe, compare and contrast. These are high level levels of thinking. You hear about critical thinking, and there are those that say, "Oh, AI is destroying critical thinking." No, it's not. AI is empowering critical thinking. It's empowering problem solving. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. Analyze means pull it apart. Synthesize means put it back together, and evaluate means that you're able to look at what you did and improve. My father had a pocket watch, and here I was about 9 years old, and he laid it down. Big mistake. I got in there. I'm curious. I got me a screwdriver and I prized it open. I analyzed it. I took it apart. The problem was I couldn't synthesize it, put it back together. I don't know. I don't know if y'all have ever been beat with a whale rope, but it makes you quit tearing up pocket watches, when you get that. But these are high level verbs. So we have a course description, we have high level things that we expect students to do. And in this, got a photograph. This is a picture of myself and my wife, and I talk about I get uglier every day. You can look at it and see it. I mean, I used to have hair and used to have real teeth. I've got implants now, man. I can bite through a piece of wire, and all that with these implants. But I've designed my page. This news, I wrote this using ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to design the whole course. But I want you to see that. Okay, I use ChatGPT. Welcome to a brand new semester at Baptist University of the Americas. Whether you're joining us for the first time or returning to continue your academic journey, we're excited to walk alongside you this fall 2025. See, I didn't fix the date, did I? I need to fix that, but that's when I did it. This is more than just a new term, it's an opportunity to grow in knowledge, deepen your faith, and prepare for a life of service and leadership. Our faculty and staff are here to support you every step of the way. Let's make this a semester of excellence, purpose, and community. We're so glad you're part of the BUA family. Who wrote that?
AI.
AI wrote that. Guys, I can write. I'll just show you me out here. Hold on just a second. I'm prove to you that I can write. The problem is that I'm lazy. And why should I bleed? Oh, here I am. This is me. I have 913 citations. I have 146 articles here, professional publications that I've written in my life. I generally write with people. Ali Al-Habsi is an Arab student that I published this with, Lincoln Petaway, a associate assistant professor at that time, and me. And I was a full professor, and I helped Ali get published. Ali now works for the Dubai ambassador. He's an assistant ambassador over there. He's a wonderful young man. But I can write. The issue is I don't like to write. Sherman, what was it Sherman said? He said, war is hell. He said that because he never had to write much. Okay. Writing is hard work. And when you can get a tool and let it do that. So I started out and I had to do this. Let me show you what it looks like. Here it is. There's a text. I put it in. Here's the photo. I've got a syllabus. I just hadn't uploaded it yet. And I've got news and welcome to spring. Very easy to design that. Uh, Blackboard is tremendously easy to work in. Now, the problem that I had is that now I'm going to teach this class. I've got an introduction for them. And what am I going to teach? You ever sat down and you asked to do something and you wonder, what am I going to do? Guys, I'm 69 years old. I've been teaching since 1983. I've been pastoring since 1975. I was ordained October the 12th, 1975. I surrendered August 3rd of 1975. I preached 2 sermons, 3 sermons, and went to Salem, little old country church, and they called me as pastor, and my church ordained me, and I pastored them. So you know, I can build a sermon, I can speak, I can write, but I'm lazy. Now, if I can find a tool that helps me design a class, then that's what I want to use. I've never taught Intro to Psychology before, but I am going to tell you this, and I'll make a promise to you. I'm in the process in this summer of building 20 classes. And those 20 classes are going to be built in this model. And those teachers that I'm targeting will use those models if they teach for us, because it's about giving the student a good experience and letting you go in a class that's not just nothing out there, but has a class. So I designed this class. I asked ChatGPT to give me 4 topics. Okay. It recommended foundations of psychology, research methods, biological bases of behavior and cognition, human development and personality, social psychology, and psychological applications. I'm just showing you this because I'm going to show you how to get ChatGPT to do this. When you enter this, I designed the page. Let me show you what a design page looks like. Okay, so I go in and I've got a totally blank page, and I went in and put the cover title, the picture, the cover brief. Where do you think I got the picture? ChatGPT, guys. I didn't have to go out and steal anybody's stuff. Now, I told you I was a pirate in a past life. You know, some of my deacons would swear to that, but I denied. But ChatGPT draws you original pictures that you can use, and you can do as many as you want. Let me go into this class just a minute. It has foundations of psychology and research method. It has a topic description. It has 4 subtopics that we're going to cover. Now, my model is 4 topics, each topic having 4 subtopics. Why would I do it that way? What do you think? What am I doing? Why am I doing it that way? How much is 4 times 4? How many weeks of class do you have? So there is a pattern to my insanity. I don't care what my wife says. There's a pattern to my insanity. So each topic has 4 subtopics, and the subtopics are this. Who gave me those subtopics? ChatGPT. Who wrote those subtopics? Oh, ChatGPT. And look at that. And who designed that? Me. I like colors and things like that. So we've got subtopic 3, and my page is fairly balanced. You see, I had to do that. But let me get you back up here, because I want to get you down to these videos just a minute. So here's subtopic 4. The rest of subtopic 3, I've split it in half. Subtopic 4, and got the things that you need. And here's transactional instructional summary. So I had it do a summary for me, and I posted all that in. Now I've got instructional videos. Now listen to these cool titles. What is psychology? An introduction. History of psychological thought. Major psychological perspectives explained. How psychological research works. Understanding experiments and variables. Ethics and psychological research. Who do you think dreamed up those topics? ChatGPT. I told it. I said I'm going to want a topic. I want 4 topics. I want each topic with a description, each topic divided into 4 subtopics. I want a description of each subtopics. I actually went back then and had it write each of the subtopics for me. I said I need 6 potential videos. Who wrote the narrative for the video? ChatGPT. And what did I use to build the video? Pictory. I tricked you. Say, yeah, I tricked you. But I used, the answer is what you're seeing is I used AI. What is psychology? Now, guys, I have a bachelor's in special education. I used to laugh teaching math because when you look at my teacher certifications, I'm certified to teach mathematics. I'm certified to teach the emotionally disturbed. I'm certified to teach the mentally retarded. And those are back in the days that they still use those terms. And I used to tell my math classes, welcome to math. If you just can't learn math, I got you covered. I'm certified to teach the mentally retarded. If you have a nervous breakdown over math, I still got you covered. I'm certified to teach the emotionally disturbed, okay? So I used to laugh about that. But I had these classes, but I never taught them. And it suggested to me these videos and it wrote the narrative. Bear with me just a minute. Let me click on it and get it to come on and load. There you go.
Psychology is the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. It seeks to understand how individuals think, feel, and act in different situations. While the word itself comes from the Greek term psyche, meaning mind or soul, and logo.
Oh, my daughter was in a test in logic. And the question was in Greek, what is the gender of psyche and why? So I'm in class and my phone rings and it's my daughter. Daddy, you got to help me. I said, what do I need to help you with, Amanda? And she said, well, I'm taking a test and it's asking us what is the Greek gender of psyche. I said, it's feminine. And she said, the big question is why? Why would the Greeks use feminine for the soul? Because they felt women were emotional. I'm just telling you that. But in their logic, emotion was considered feminine. And therefore the soul, the psyche, was feminine in gender. There's a long history of that. It goes back all the way back to the worship of the Earth Mother Goddess. I won't go into that. I'm just telling you. It's cool. But look at, do you see the video? The video has a narrative. And what I want you to see is with the videos, all 6 of those I threw together using Pictory, and they're short videos. So you don't have to have an hour-long video. Some of these videos are 5 minutes long. Some of them are 3.5 minutes long. They're just to illustrate a point, and they're to support the class. Let's do under how psychological research works, okay? How psychological research works.
Psychological research
Let's see how long
is
it
a
is.
process used to investigate behavior, thoughts, emotions,
Just over 3 minutes
mental
long.
processes. Because human behavior is complex and influenced by many factors, psychology relies on scientific methods to gather reliable evidence.
Oh, and it chose these pictures. Now, the good thing about building videos using Pictory is when you build an academic video, not a biblical video. Biblical, you have to watch the stinking thing. He'll throw Catholic stuff on you. You're talking about salvation by grace through faith, and the priest is out there sprinkling somebody if you don't watch it, you know. So you end up drawing a lot of pictures. But when you build a Pictory video for something like this, it has beautiful resources that require almost minimal work on you. Here's the Greek letter PSI, psi. You hear psyche, psi. Mindy, these Greeks that made emotion female, okay? But there were some great Greek female mathematicians. Matter of fact, one of them threw some problems at these guys they never did figure out. They thought the world was made of number and everything was ordered and perfect and matched it. And then the priestess of Delphi, they went to the oracle of Delphi to ask how to stop a plague, and the priestess at Delphi said, take a altar and double the size of the altar of Apollo. And you can't, if you take an altar that's 1 by 1 by 1, it's 3-dimensional. You make it 2 by 2 by 2, it's you made it 8 times bigger. So the priestess in the oracle at Delphi gave them a problem they couldn't solve. They had to find the square root, the cube root of 2 to make that work. And that's an irrational number that in their mindset didn't exist. And they call those the unmentionables. But you know, when you're doing this, it gets very easy. Now, we also have assignments after the videos, and I want to show you that. In this particular course, I have a discussion assignment, and it's worth 10 points. I have an individual project, and I have a reflection assignment. Who do you think came up with those? ChatGPT. But in my mind, discussions and reflections are very important in a lesson. Because if you do your discussion, you're gonna get 10 points, you know. You do your reflection, you're gonna get 10 points because the discussion and reflection are your opinion. What if I counted it wrong? Was it not your opinion? But it's to help students think about this. The individual project, when they submit that individual project, better grab it. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. It's trying to keep it on. The individual assignment, when it's submitted, what if I want to grade it? I can load it in ChatGPT and said, grade this on a scale of 0 to 100 and give a brief instructor feedback on how to improve the work. And ChatGPT, I've trained it. I don't want to do ugly things. You ever got an ugly note on an assignment? One of my friends turned in his paper to this English teacher, Fred Brodewall, that taught us, and he put on the paper, who wrote this, a man or an armadillo? You know what he put on my paper? He put on my paper, you will never write with any fluency. I was 17 years old. Now, God has a sense of humor. I published a lot more than that man has. And what is funny about it is he submitted an article to the Community College Journal of Research and Practice. Guess who the associate editor of that journal was? And I got his article and I read his article and I thought this man told me I would never write. But you can train ChatGPT to give positive feedback, and it can give good feedback. Now, I make my students a promise. I'm going to grade it, and I'm going to grade it in ChatGPT. I'm going to give you the higher the grades. You know, sometimes maybe I had a bad day. I don't know. Generally, my grade is a couple of points higher than ChatGPT because ChatGPT can be brutal, but always gives good advice on how to improve. The ultimate goal of that being that one day an undergraduate student in an English class, instead of like my Arab students used to do, they wanted me to look at it before I graded it, you know. And so what I could do now is say, okay, run it through ChatGPT and fix it according to what ChatGPT says. And I'm going to give you the higher grade, what I give you or what ChatGPT gives you. So you know, these assignments and reflect on how psychological research influences everyday decisions such as media consumption. Randy, when you walk in Walmart's, where's the stuff you want to look at? Is it at the front or the back? Usually you have to go through. Because if you're going to go get some car stuff, it's way back there. And you're going to get fishing stuff, it's way over here. And if you want to look at computer stuff, it's way over there. And Mindy, you're unusual. See, we can make you an honorary member of the Logic Club, but women, their research showed that men go in to get something and come out, that women will actually shop and look at prices and look at things. So they put the men's stuff in the back and the women's stuff is towards the front. When you look at clothes and you go in Walmart's, the women's clothes are always towards the front. The men's are further back. Now I have to tell you a story. You know, y'all all think I'm prim and proper with everything, and I've got you fooled, and I'm His High Holiness the Righteous, Right Reverend Brother Walter, but I'm kind of mean. I'm kind of mischievous. We were hunting up in Colorado, and we were like 13,500 feet up hunting elk, and our air mattress went flat. And in the middle of the night, you know, when you're up there and your air mattress gets a hole, you're on the rocks. And guys, now listen, the mountain men can sleep on the rocks. The old fat men like me, we're going to have an air mattress. So I told Floyd, I said, let's go to Walmart's and find a new air mattress. So we drove an hour and a half to Cortez in the middle of the night. Our air mattress was in the back of the store where they put the men's stuff, and we had to walk through. So we're walking through the store, and we cut through and ended up in the women's lingerie section. Yeah. And we have other guys with us. And I said, Floyd, let's get this little red thing of panties here and let's put it in Gerald's suitcase. Yeah. Now, my plan was I was going to tell Dee before she found it, but I probably would have forgotten anyway. But at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm putting these little red panties in his suitcase when he catches me. But your life is affected by research. They look at what sells stuff to us. Oh, AI has gone bonkers on advertising because if you're on Facebook and you click on something, it comes to get you. It keeps showing you that. Zoe's got a shirt on that says, I want a Diet Coke, and it's got a Diet Coke on the sleeve. It's his favorite thing. But they wanted $50 for that thing. And I looked at it, and it came back. I said, no. And it came back. And I said, well, and it came back. And I finally said, okay, I'm going to buy it for Zoe, you know. But AI caught me and kept hounding me to sell me that. So the moral of that is if your wife is looking at your computer, be careful. Okay. You know, yeah, I know. Sharon has all my passwords. I don't have nothing to hide. If I did, it wouldn't work anyway. She'd find it. But you see, here we have a class, a section of a class that is built in a design that has narratives and that has videos. And if you go in, let's go into the last one. It's the same design. This is a beautifully designed intro to psychology class. And I'm not a psychologist, but AI, you can build just about anything. And I have discussions and I have projects and reflections, and it will even help me design that. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do some of this. The first thing that you need is what I call a curriculum guide. A curriculum guide is the course design document. And if you listen, before we had I used to rack my brain. Okay, what am I going to teach in this course, and what topics am I going to cover? And that's where textbooks became so powerful because teachers didn't. They got the textbook. Okay, I'll adopt a $200 textbook, and we'll look at chapters 1, 2, 3, 7, and 12. Okay, and in the class there is a famous mathematical work called Liber Abacus. The Roman number system had the abacus. That's where the abacus came from. That's how they calculated. The Arabic number system, which is actually Indian numerals designed by Arabic mathematicians, is the number system we use. And you don't have to have an abacus to add our numbers, because our numbers are not like crazy Roman numerals, you know. We have 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And man, you can put any numbers together and you can put them in columns and add them, okay? And the mathematician that copied the work of the Arab mathematician Bar Alkovitz, who introduced to Europe the Arabic number system and took credit for inventing it. He was really a translator, but his book was entitled Liber Abacus. Liber means freedom from the abacus. In other words, with this number system that I've designed, you don't have to have an abacus. I've written a book called Liber Necktie. Freedom from the necktie. I've established that the necktie is a filthy habit begun by the Belgians and perpetuated by the French. And you don't have to, I mean, where did we ever start torturing ourselves to go church and worship God? God will actually love you even without a necktie. Now, what we can do with this is we can write a book called Liber Textbook. This course doesn't need a textbook. ChatGPT becomes your textbook. You're guiding student study and student research. So we've got a topic now called Liber Textbook. You notice that if you take my classes, very seldom do I anymore have a textbook. Why? Why do we need a textbook? Well, they need a textbook to tell them what to teach. I got ChatGPT. We need a textbook to give them problems to work on. We got ChatGPT. Liber textbook. And I would argue with you that as teachers learn ChatGPT, textbooks will become less and less frequent. And if you do have a textbook, there's tons of free textbooks out there. You can write your own textbook. Okay, so we're going to design a curriculum guide. Design a curriculum guide, but we're going to have to give it information. And for a freshman, and the more you tell it, for a freshman course, and our course is going to be Foundation 1300, called Strategies for Academic Success. And I'm doing this for a reason, because I'm going to build this class. And I'm going to rebuild. I built the Strategies for Academic Success, but I built it with 8 modules. Maybe I was drinking when I did that. We need 4 topics. We don't need 8 topics. We need 4 of them. And I'm going to redesign it. Identify 4 topics and give descriptions of each. Okay? For each topic, identify 4 subtopics. You see, with the description of each. But I forgot something. Before we get to topics, let's go back and let's add in there. Provide a course description and 3 high-order course learning outcomes. See, it knows when I'm telling it that to do the Bloom taxonomy. I don't know if you've ever written learning outcomes. When I first came here 4 years ago, this institution had a lot of classes that didn't have syllabi. I wrote syllabi for every class, and I had to write the learning outcomes from my brain. And I did, but I don't have to do that anymore. I'm lazy. So design a curriculum guide for a freshman course, Foundation 1300, Strategies for Academic Success. Provide a course description and 3 high-order course learning outcomes. Identify 4 topics and give descriptions of each. For each topic, identify 4 subtopics with a description for each. For each topic, develop a discussion assignment, an individual assignment. Now, you give this to me, and I'm going to throw up right here, but ChatGPT, you just beat it to a pulp. Just keep working. It doesn't complain. An individual assignment, a group assignment, in case I want to add that, and a reflection assignment. Comma. I'm going to go back and I'm with my discussion assignment. I'm going to put 10 points. For my individual assignment, I'm going to put 100 points. And really, group assignments are very good things because you learn to work together. And when you have a bigger class, that's very nice. And my reflection assignment, 10 points. Now I'm going to do some fun stuff now. Okay. For each topic, provide a list of 6 potential video topics, and provide a list of five topics for students to research using ChatGPT. Oh, yes. You can build, I'll show you, you can build, when I grade it, I can give you a rubric because it'll build a rubric. And it will do that for each assignment. It's powerful. Mindy, I can take those things once I write my narratives and I can tell it to build me lecture notes, build me a PowerPoint, all of these things. But look at this course. And list of 5 topics for students to research using ChatGPT. The addition of the research topics in freshman courses is very interesting to me.
Like on the bottom, you use research using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So that's going to be their assignment?
Well, I don't know. It depends on, I'm just going to tell them to research that stuff. I may ask them to discuss that. The reason I'm doing that, Mindy, is to get away from a textbook. I don't need a textbook anymore because they're going to use ChatGPT as their textbook. Right. It's all right.
But what he did basically turn it into what you see in the programs, when we go to the kindergarten lesson. He got ChatGPT and did it. So that's really good.
And what is so exciting about this, Mindy? How much money do you think Baptists have spent writing Sunday school literature? And how hard is it to write a Sunday school lesson from scratch? Terrible. So write a course assessment plan with descriptions of each item. See, I'm just going wild. Okay, you ready? We're going to push the holy button and let's see what it does. Here it goes, and away it goes. Now, I'm actually going to use this to redesign Foundation 1300 strategies for academic success. Now, here's the problem that I have to handle as an academic leader. If you're teaching Foundation of Academic Success in the classroom, if you're teaching it online, and we'll have a new issue coming up in the fall called Global Pathways, which will be a group of students that will come in for that. And all those courses have to be equivalent, which means I can't just turn teachers loose and tell them do what you want to do. And I get in trouble because I say what I think before I really think about why I said it. But I'll say things like, this is not the time of the judges where every man does what's right in his own eyes. We must be cooperative with the institution. The institution is paying to teach a class, and we can design the class. Now, here's the class, but I'm going to copy it all. Just bear with me. I just copied all of it. And I'm gonna put it, now I'm old school, okay? Old people, we like things that we can navigate easier. I'm gonna put together here in a document, I'm gonna get rid of all this. It can do a Word document, it can do a PowerPoint, it can add rubrics, I can do every bit of that. But watch me now, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to format this to where it does it the way that and looks the way that I want it to look. Look at the pages. If you were to write on your own, how long would it take you to write 7 pages? A bunch, wouldn't it?
All
Now,
night.
oh, I mean, it would be awful. Now I'm going to turn it into Times New Roman. I'm going to do size 12. Guys, I mean, I know I'm a creature of habit, but I'm going to format it, the paragraphs where it has 6 spaces. I'm going to take that out, just do 6 points between. Yes. And because it's unique. You use chat.
So I did like big stuff like, I just to see what I do, but mine gave me like it broke it down from 7th to 12th grade. And
Yes.
it gave me a 4-week detailed lesson day by day.
Yes.
And then it gave me the training rubric as well.
And lesson. Mindy, lesson plans. Is it fun to write lesson plans? No, I used to have to get the lesson planning book, do it by hand, It can do it. But see, ChatGPT is so powerful that you use it all the time. I use it all the time. It knows you and it knows me. I can probably ask it, is Mindy my friend? It's, oh yeah, Mindy's, you know. But look at what I've done now. Here I have foundation and strategies for academic success. I'm going to make that red just to show that I've done it. And I'm going to put curriculum guide. This is my course, not my course in Blackboard. This is my design. I still got pieces to do. I got lectures to write. I got videos to do. But I can walk and talk. Here's my course description. I'm going to put that at 14. Foundation, Strategies for Academic Success is a foundational course designed to equip learners with the necessary skills, habits, and strategies necessary for success in higher education. Sometimes kids coming out of high school need to hear you're in college now. Some schools, they're glad to get to college because it's easier. Some schools they walk out of, they discover that they have to turn their work in to get a grade, okay? It's a different thing. The course emphasizes critical thinking, time management, academic research, learning strategies, and personal development. Through practical application, reflection, and collaboration, learners develop the confidence and competence to navigate academic expectations, leverage technology, including AI tools, and achieve long-term educational and professional growth. Now, do you catch that it mentioned AI tools? Let me show you something right here. And people say, oh, you don't need to know AI. Here, this is a slide that was produced in 2025 by the World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs report. This is a big deal. And it says we take 100 people in the global workplace. That's just 100 average people. In the global workplace, there are folks carrying out the garbage. In the global workplace, there are folks fixing the cars. There are professionals, healthcare. There are people working at McDonald's. I mean, that's the global workplace. They're high-level professionals. 39% of workers' core skills will change by 2030. That's 4 years from now. 30, and you know what it means? Their fundamental, their core skills that are required in their jobs. It isn't going to be the same thing. They used to have a commercial. This is not your father's Oldsmobile, because they were selling Oldsmobile to younger people. Now the commercial didn't work, but it was still a good idea. I thought it was cool. But my father didn't own an Oldsmobile, so it didn't relate to me. But the job place is not the job place I grew up in when I was 16 and sold shoes for belts. It's a different place. And my daughter was talking to me today. She said, Daddy, she's going to do a presentation to a group of old hardcore nurses. AI is going to take our job. I said, no, Amanda, AI is not going to take your job. Somebody who knows AI is going to take your job. Some young person who knows AI is going to get your job because the job skills have changed. You know, this is about using a tool that can make us mega productive. That course that you saw took me about 7 hours to build, video and all, loading it to YouTube and everything. But guys, I'm a ninja. I do that all the time. I like doing that. But look at this: 41 people out there in the job market in 4 years, they're not going to be impacted. They're the people doing the lowest level of jobs. 29 are going to be upskilled. Their businesses are going to help them upskill. 19, and they're going to keep the same job. 19 are going to be upskilled and have to do a different job. And 11 of them are going to need upskilling and won't know how to get the help. you know, help. They'll be the ones that are out there now arguing, oh, you don't need to know AI. Guys, technology, we need to be introduced to it. Because if you get far enough behind, you can't catch up. So I have a course description. I'm going to take off high order because that's not, I'm not going to brag to them too much. But I want you to look at my learning out, and we have a notation. We use CLO1, of course, learning outcome 1, and we're going to do CLO2, and we're going to have CLO3, course learning outcome 3. Not only can I have it write the course learning outcomes, I could have told it to map the assignments and all of those things to the learning outcomes. Mapping topic 1 and 2 to course learning outcome 1, topic 3 to course learning outcome 2, and topic 4 to course learning outcome 3. Look at those outcomes. Oh, I love the way that it's bolded that because it's learning. Look at these verbs. This isn't just point out, like there it is, there it is. These are high levels of thinking. Evaluate and apply effective academic strategies to manage time, tasks, and responsibilities in a college environment. That's a high level of learning, to evaluate something and apply it. Analyze and synthesize, tear it apart and put it back together. Academic information using research tools. Construct and implement a personal academic success plan. These are not silly things. These are powerful. Now we're going to get to our course topics. And watch how I'm going to break that out where we can see it. I'll do it like this. And this is going to be my course outcome. Topic 1, foundations. This is the foundations of academic success. See, I'm getting it ready to copy it into here's my topic description. Foundations of the topic introduces the core principles of academic success. Do you know sometimes, and including mindset, sometimes you have to set kids down and say, hey, you have to do your work. I love you, but you have to come to class. I love you, but Pumpkin, you got to try. You ever seen the little self-fulfilling prophecy? I can't do it. I just can't do it. Yeah, you can do it. I'm formatting this. I just want to show you what my formatting looks like. That should be a 14. So, and I format it just to show myself, and I save it that way to let me know that I've done it. Here's the subtopics in that: the growth mindset and fixed mindset. You ever noticed with a kid that the kid says, I can't do math? They can't do math. A teacher that goes into a class and thinks these are dumb kids is going to have a class of dumb kids. There was research done in the 60s. They took teachers and they gave them 2 groups of students selected at random, and they told them, this is a smart class, this is a dumb class. Don't tell them Make them do the same thing. In every case where the teacher thought these kids are smart, the kids excelled. And when they thought they were dumb, they didn't excel. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we can talk to them about that. You know, you can do this. Sometimes I'll send something and say, you got this, because they're struggling. Goal setting and academic planning and motivation and self-discipline. I just want to show you the flow of this. Here's the assignments, and it's done those. How cool. It's got assignments. And we've got a discussion for 10 points. I'm going to call it topic 1. I label mine like topic 1 discussion in Blackboard. That way, when I'm looking at them, I've got it down. But here's their topic 1 discussion. Let's see what it gave them to do. Provide a personal academic challenge and explain how adopting a growth mindset can improve outcomes. You can do it. I can do it. I just have to get on it early and go to work. I can get this done. And that's how you would do that. Now, I'm not going to go through and do all of those, but I want you to look at video topics, okay? Growth mindset explained. There's my first video. I'm gonna build me topic 1. Write me a narrative. Write a narrative to explain this, the growth mindset explained, and do not use the words student or students. Because it got with me, it said the student will. I didn't tell you to boss the students around. I told you to explain it to me. So I'm angry. And now I've got 4 topics. Look how long it takes to write one of these topics. Look at it go. Growth mindset. Here's what growth mindset is. Let's see. Oh man, I got me a narrative for a video now. If I want to save that video, this is topic 1, video 1, and here's the narrative. Look at that stuff. Now let me get it formatted where I'm just me. I'm just me. It's not going to be very long, but it's going to give me a little narrative, just so it says something to them. Kids think we old people are not digital, and they need to live in fear. They need to understand that, yes, we are digital. Mess with me and you'll find yourself on the internet, But now I want to show you how easy it is to build this video. This video, let me go back and name it. This video is the Growth Mindset Explained. It's going to be the title. Growth Mindset Explained. I'm going to have to format it. The Growth Mindset Explained. So I'm going to show you how easy this one is to do in Pictory. I'm going to copy this. There's my video narrative. I'm going to go to Pictory. Pictory was very problematic in when we were messing around doing Bible stuff. You already got built, hadn't you? You hit up me, Mindy. You're kicking it. It's all right. Make AI fear you, okay? Here's AI. Be afraid. Be very afraid. So I'm going to put it there. I've got to move my title up. I'm going to get rid of that untitled and put it up there. And I'm going to look there. Now I'm going to generate my video, and I'm going to choose one of these. I think I like that. And let's see what it looks like on its own when it builds this. The Bible one, you have to be very careful, because the Bible one the pictures, like I said, you're talking about baptism by immersion, and you got the priest in the background sprinkling somebody, You remember where Lazarus, where the rich man said, send Lazarus that he may dip his finger in water and cool my tongue. Dip is the word baptize. That's what he used, baptizo. They would not translated as immerse in the King James Bible, which is what it means to dip, to push under, because it contradicted what was being done in the church. So, but anyway, I'll share that little tidbit with you. It's building me a video. And I'm going to show you how good a video it is. Just that quick. It takes it just a minute. And I'm going to have to format it a little bit once it goes in, because one of the weaknesses of AI, Pictory.AI, is it comes out with music. It's playing around. It's hunting real pictures. You're going to be amazed at how well it illustrated this video without me having to do my Moses standing on the rock picture or something like that. Because you're going to find that in these secular things, okay, here it's done. Understanding the growth mindset. Let me go over to audio. I'm gonna turn the music off. It was gonna play painting the playroom. We don't want that. I'm gonna tell it to do a voiceover, and I want one of my good voices. And DeJono. And listen, this software is getting better every day. Here, it's almost done. It's putting the voice into it. I could download it if I wanted to once it's done that, but let's just watch it.
Growth mindset is the belief that ability, intelligence, and talent are not fixed traits, but qualities that can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. Rather than viewing challenges as evidence of limitation, a growth mindset interprets them as opportunities to improve and expand one's capacity. This perspective shifts the focus from simply achieving outcomes to engaging in the process of learning. At the heart of a growth mindset is the understanding that mistakes are not failures, but valuable feedback. When difficulties arise, the response is not to withdraw or become discouraged, but to ask, what can be learned from this experience? This approach builds resilience, allowing individuals to persist even when progress feels slow or obstacles appear significant. Effort plays a central role in this way of thinking. Instead of seeing effort as a sign of weakness, it is viewed as the pathway to mastery. Skills are strengthened through practice, reflection, and adjustment. Over time, consistent effort leads to deeper understanding and improved performance. A growth mindset also transforms the way feedback is received. Constructive feedback becomes a tool for development rather than a personal critique. By listening carefully and applying suggestions, improvement becomes intentional and measurable. Ultimately, adopting a growth mindset cultivates confidence rooted in progress rather than perfection. It encourages continuous development, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace new challenges. This mindset not only supports academic success,
It won't be long.
but also
It's
prepares
almost done.
individuals for lifelong learning and personal growth.
Now look at that. Now I can download that video. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Let it download, and I'm going to tell it to run in the background and tell me when you're through. But look at that. Mindy, I put your voice. We could put a female voice in there. We could give that voice an accent if we want to. I laugh sometimes. I have a friend that she's Scottish, and Katie, and I was laughing with Sharon. I said, why don't we send Katie a video and we do it with a Scottish accent? Just messing with her. But with secular things, that video is very easy to do. It's a little harder to do Bible things because you have to watch it closely. Yeah, because it will, like if you ask ChatGPT, when was the church started? The Baptist church, they'll say it began in the Reformation. Baptist churches started in the ministry of Jesus. They were empowered on the day of Pentecost, and there have been believers. I use the word Baptist just simply to refer to believers that taught the gospel. There have been gospel churches in all ages. And Luther, I appreciate what Luther did. Luther was probably my brother listening to what he wrote about the gospel. But listen, the Anabaptists, the Paulicians, the Novatians, the Huguenots, the Montanists, I mean, just go down the list. The Valdensians, they were all preaching the gospel, that salvation was by grace through faith. So you have to really watch ChatGPT. This is a powerful little verse. Let me show you something here just a second. Okay, I'm messing. It's going to run in the background and do it. Carry out to YouTube. I like loading the videos into YouTube because YouTube is powerful. YouTube is accessible across many different countries. I get downloaded a lot in India, but let me run you. I put it together in a playlist. Let's see. Intro to Psychology. I have 24 videos in this playlist. I can give you a link and you can listen to every one of the videos. What is psychology? The history of psychological thought. But all I did was build them one at a time in Pictory.AI. I laid out what needed to be done, and I did it one at a time. Let me carry you to intro psychology. I'm notorious for see if I can get that little document. There he goes. Get him down. I am notorious for keeping things. So let me take you out Dropbox. Let's go to my BUA. Let's go to courses. I got courses here somewhere. And in my courses, I built a few courses, guys, in my life. Okay. These I built here. But here's Psychology 2301. Here's the graphics. There's the curriculum guide that I developed. Here's the graphics that I used. I drew those in ChatGPT. Here's my syllabus. I hadn't put it in there yet, but here's topic 1. There's the narratives. Subtopic 1, subtopic 2, subtopic 3, subtopic 4, and a summary. Those are the things that I could load as PDFs into a book. Then you've got my video narratives. Look at all the video narratives. There's 24 of them. I just wrote them and I saved them one at a time. And then here's the videos themselves. In topic 1, here's the videos that I built using Pictory and downloaded them. And I saved the video, but I uploaded the video into YouTube because it's easy to share the link. Let me go back just a second to a link. Let's look at one of these. Here's Intro to Psychology. Let me show you some of the other things that I've done. I'm notorious. Okay. There, if I can get. Oh, okay. Let me go to YouTube. I'm sorry, I got that other up there in the way. I got to bring it down just a little bit. Here's Rusty. Here's my channel. And here unmanaged videos. Here's my playlist. And I like organizing them in playlists. I'm going to show you some of these that are pretty cool. Let me get it all the way down there. Well, I'd have to, I've got it in the. Okay, so that took me into Intro to Psychology, but you can see every course. Here's the speech I put as a playlist of the class recordings that we've done. Math, English, health care. My daughter helped me, has been reviewing, but let me come on down. Let's put 50 of these in here. I want to show you a playlist that's cool. We're just almost through. Moses, Egypt, and the Exodus. When I die, and I plan to be cremated, so I get an early start on the fire. But if I was buried, they could put on my tomb, "This man loved Egypt." Okay, but look at these videos. I built 22 videos, and topic 1, Pharaoh, Egyptian slavery. I mean, it goes down and they're sequential. Where do you think I got all those pictures? ChatGPT. I drew it, and I could have. Oh, and the last, here's old Moses. You know, people don't realize what a great man Moses was. What a great man George Washington was. General Washington. He could have been King Washington if he wanted to. But he went back to Mount Vernon and became a farmer, laid down authority, and they elected him president. And he served 2 terms. There was no rule that you could only serve 2 terms, but he worried that he was going to die in office and it would establish a precedent that once you were elected president, you were president for the rest of your life, and he didn't want that. Franklin Roosevelt is the one that brought about the 2 terms because he ran for 4 terms. There was no rules, and he just kept being reelected. But Moses could have been king. Moses could have accepted half the promised land and made himself immensely wealthy. Moses made himself a Levite who had no possessions. They had no land. His inheritance was the Lord. Do you ever feel like when you serve the Lord that, all these wicked folks out here, man, they're dripping in money and all of that, and here you are serving the Lord, but your inheritance is the Lord. In the long run, you're going to be better off. My sister keeps telling me she's going to win the lottery, but it hadn't happened yet. Now, she did in the lottery back there. She got 5 out of 6 and called me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, Karen, if you get 6 out of 6, you can call and wake me up, but don't. Just kidding her. She told me, said, I'm going to win the Mega Millions and buy you a car. I said, what do you mean a car? You're going to win 400 and something million and give me a stinking car? I was on her about that. But look at this. I have other ones that are the life and times of Jesus the Messiah. That's a fascinating series of videos. The life and times of Jesus the Messiah, 30 videos. Have you ever wondered who the Pharisees were, who the Sadducees were, who were the Zealots? The Pharisees were born in the time of the Maccabees. They were champions of the faith when they were organized. They just got diverted. I wonder sometimes if a lot of our churches aren't getting diverted from the gospel to other missions and purposes. They used to call me up at Gordon. We want to come and speak to your congregation about the upcoming election. No, that's not the role of the church. The role of the church is the greatest message the world ever had, and that is the message of Jesus and repentance and faith and salvation and how he can change your life. But look at these. Look at all these videos. And once they're built, how long do they last? Until YouTube dies. I'll be dead and gone. There'll be people watching my videos. The Jesus and humanity, the crucifixion and resurrection, the Great Commission, the final exam video. I don't imagine many will watch that. The birth of Jesus. Oh, when the angels sang, there was myriads. Myriad is 10,000 times 10,000. That's 10 million. 10 million angels sang at the birth of Jesus. That's a song. They sang the song, glory to God in the highest, on earth peace, goodwill towards men. I mean, it was an angelic song. Do you know God wrote a song in the Bible? He came to Moses and he said, have Aaron say this to the people. May the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. You ought to hear that song in Hebrew. It's a song. It's a song. God didn't tell him to go write it. God said, here it is. And the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. What a marvelous song. So guys, I just want you to see how powerful it is. One last thing before I let you go, and we're just about to disembark. Here's the Business 1301 curriculum guide. Course description, course learning outcomes, topic 1, subtopics, projects. Here's the supporting videos and the research topics for each one of those. Isn't that cool? You know how much work that ChatGPT as a tool has done for me? Now I just need to go in and write some videos, write some narratives using ChatGPT, and it even tells me the grading scale for the course. I can give the teacher this. I can develop rubrics. I can develop PowerPoints for the course. I can give them the lecture notes. And you know, I may not, I'm probably not going to go that far with it, but I can if I choose to. And what I'm trying to do with that curriculum guide is ensure that everyone who teaches that class for us does the same thing. And that's a big accreditation issue because we're going to have face-to-face, online intro to business. We're going to have global pathways, which will be a group of students that will come 3 weekends a semester, and they will be earning a bachelor's of business administration over 4 years. But they're going to have a lot of work to do, okay? They're going to be researching topics, Mindy, and turning them into me. Life's good. Is there anything you guys want to ask me before we bail out?
How long of a presentation did you want us to make with the video?
1 minute, 2 minutes. I don't, you know, actually, Manuel, I don't have anything in mind. I'm just wanting you to do the exercise.
Okay.
And listen, you don't even have to use Pictory. You can make your own video using PowerPoint by recording. Pictory is just powerful because it does that for you. Guys, in the words of the Vulcans, live long and prosper in the old Star Trek. And then when you meet one, peace and long life. Be sure, you know, and live long and prosper was in Star Trek. You know where they got that? In the Arab world, they say, Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. And they say, Wa alaikum assalam in answer, which means that unto you be peace. And if you lived in the Middle East right now, you would be praying for peace, okay? I love you guys. Go enjoy the day. We're through this thing.
All right. Thank
We
you.
got it
God
done.
bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye. See if I can get us out of it. Okay.